Hey, what is up, guys? It is your boy Evan coming to you with another video. So as you may know, the left isn't exactly known for masculinity. In fact, they spent many years shaming masculinity. But in a nation that's 50% men, it's kind of a losing strategy for any moving forward elections, right? So they come up with a different solution. The Democrats have a huge campaign to re-image themselves, and they just can't seem to get it right either. So I thought it'd be interesting to watch Fox talk about it, you know, from an outside, more masculine accepting perspective. So might be a little biased, but hey, what isn't nowadays? But before we get into that, I would really appreciate it if you could like, comment, subscribe, maybe share with a friend. So with that out of the way, let's get into the video.
Buy the Democrats some street cred with the cool kids. Well, they certainly hope so. The party is spending big to win back those Joe Rogan-loving men who flocked to President Trump. Apparently, Tim Walz doing manly things like fixing cars and pheasant hunting didn't quite.
Wasn't this in a movie? Isn't this like the typical like machismo campaign move? This was in the movie Campaign. Yeah, go out bird hunting. That'll show them.
Resonate. And according to the New York Times, Democrats.
Oh yeah, and when he fixed his truck, except nothing was actually wrong with his truck. All he did was take the filter out, right? That's all he did.
Are dropping $20 million on a new project. It's called Codenamed SAM, short for Speaking with American Men, a strategic plan, and it promises investment to study the syntax, language, and content that gains attention and virality in these spaces. I do not know why they spent $20 million on it. It recommends buying advertisements in video games, amongst other things. But can you actually buy authenticity? This Democratic strategist apparently does think it's possible.
If you dig in on what Democrats are researching right now, you're going to find a lot of silly stuff. You're going to find people asking a lot of questions, people asking about syntax and do I drop the G from this word and this and that, and it's going to be a lot of that. So let me just warn everybody, that process is going to be very obnoxious. We're really talking about young men, right? Young men who Democrats have not figured out a consistent pitch for how to get in front of. And I think it starts with authenticity. Stop creating purity tests for people because they don't agree with you 8 or 9, 10 times.
Right.
But getting young guns back on Team Democrat is just one piece of the rebrand puzzle. Barack Obama's former chief of staff, Rahm Emanuel, is calling his party's brand weak and woke.
And he's right. Yo, bro. Like, I think there was a study that actually said that men that have leanings towards the left typically have less testosterone than men that lean right. And I'm not surprised in the slightest. I'm sure you're not surprised in the slightest. But just to be vindicated by their science, oh, gotta love it, man.
A speculation mounts that he'll run for president in 2028. And Rahm's not the only one with ideas on how Democrats can win again.
The Democrats have forgot that maybe we should just talk to people like people. We don't need to do studies on it. We don't need to meet at hotels. How about we just go to community meetings? And
it is not the question of what the party's image is, but it is what does the party stand for? If the party takes positions on issues that are weak and woke, it will seem weak and woke.
Yeah, I don't think nationally the Democratic brand helps very much anyway. I mean, anywhere. If it did, we wouldn't have lost to Donald Trump twice.
Well, Harold, it's great to be back around the table.
Great to be with you. I'm glad you're back.
Do Democrats love to just waste money?
I hope everybody had a good weekend. I don't think Democrats are wasting money on this effort if the effort is organized and designed right. I think if the effort is trying to come up with new words or words that you think will appeal to people, then it will be a waste of money. If the exercise is to try to figure out how you develop and implement an affordability agenda for every working American, be they middle-class Americans, wealthy Americans, Americans trying to enter and graduate into the middle class. If the effort is to find ways in which to show that not investing in critical research, not investing in things that so many of our universities, from the University of Florida to Harvard University to the University of Michigan, are engaged in, that are making the world a safer place, America a safer place and healthier place.
You know, in the Navy, we got this saying called "don't nuke it," because Nukes are the nuclear engineers on board the ship. They're all super smart, some of the smartest people you'll ever meet, but they are so smart that they don't have like any common sense. Basically everything is an equation, everything is overthought. And I feel like this is kind of what's going on, not just with the Democrats but also the Republicans on this board. It's not complicated, bro. Like, male nature is fairly simple, bro. We are simplistic creatures. We want to provide, we want to protect, we want to be respected, we want to eat. You feel me? Like, it when did being a man get so far from what it means to be an American in 2025? I mean, we're getting back to it, but what happened? Where did we go wrong? Was it the soy subsidies? No. Was it telling men that their masculinity is toxic? It's like, where as a country did we just go so far off from what it is to be a man? I mean, look at as a Democratic example, look at John F. Kennedy, bro. That was a man. He was a naval officer. His plane crashed. He got his homies on a little piece of floating debris and pushed that sucker out to shore. Like, he had all types of dames and damsels. John F. Kennedy was a man's man. That used to be the face of the Democratic Party. Shoot, you want to go even a little, like, right next to him too, at Lyndon Johnson. Lyndon Johnson was a big dude, and he was a scary dude. He would look over you, bro. He would purposely, like, dog you. Just, like, get up in your shit and just be like, hey, man, what's going on with this bill? Why hasn't this bill got passed? Do you not want this bill to get passed? Like, you know, say what you will about the man, but he was a man. You can't say that about the modern Democratic Party.
If the focus is there, then you begin to try to populate words around that agenda that will resonate and connect with voters. That's one thing. But if you're only looking to find words that may make you seem more masculine or may make you seem more manly, I'm using the terminology they're using, I think not only will you not persuade voters, you'll just continue to confuse yourself. So affordability, what's going to make America stronger and smarter over the next 25, 50 years, and what's going to make our national security better. If we figure that out first, then you can develop the words and the language that can help you convey that, but not in reverse order. Then it would be a waste of money.
So I think, Jesse, what he's saying, and get your comment, is basically you have to know what you stand for before you decide what you're going to say about it.
Right. It's like hiring Don Draper for an ad campaign for a product that doesn't even exist. Usually the commercial happens after you have a new product. Harold is the only real man left in the Democrat Party. Democrats should save 20 mil and watch The Five for free. Democrat men are afraid of offending minorities and women and the woke snobs. And the voters are like dogs. We smell fear. And it's just...
The voters are like dogs. Big dogs. Fresno State Bulldogs. Go Dogs.
all over the Democrat process. Saying the right thing doesn't matter. It's about doing the right thing. Democrats need to figure out what the right thing is and then do it instead of trying to trick men into believing they're doing the right thing for the wrong reasons. Remember when they couldn't define what a woman was? Now they're trying to define what a man is. It's like an anthropologist studying the uncontacted tribes of the Amazon jungle. Except Democrats aren't even flying to Brazil. They're paying other people to listen to Rogan. There's the NBA playoffs going on. We just finished with football. They've been talking about going to sports. I haven't seen them in a single game. They're not even putting in the work that needs to be done.
It's because they're genuinely not interested in that stuff, man. They're effeminate Democrats. Like, what I've found is that the only masculine men that are Democrats are often the ones that misunderstand the issue or are ignorant to politics. Once they start to kind of privy up that the side that they're voting for doesn't want them in the home, doesn't want them being manly, really just wants to use them as a stepping stone to their political agenda, they usually switch. Even if they don't make a full switch to Republican, more often than not, they'll go independent. They'll go libertarian. As a guy, man, sometimes I'm slow to it, but I'm never dumb. I'm never so out of touch that I fail to see what side has my personal best interests. There's the side that wants to emasculate me, and the side that wants to empower me. I'm not always going to fully agree with what Republicans do, but at the end of the day, they don't hate me for being a man. In fact, they celebrate masculinity.
Males are half the voting population. Whites are like 2/3 of the country. I mean, these are large blocks of voters that they have no idea how to deal with. Bottom line, men don't like to be controlled. We don't like being told what we can't say, what vaccines we have to be putting in our body, what cars to drive, what food to eat. And if they ever find a liberal Rogan, they're going to control them. They're going to tell them what topics not to do, what guests not to have. It's going to be the same thing. And they're admitting by this stupid study for 20 mil that the legacy media has no real men in it. They've run them all out. They've fired them. You can't be a real man and go on the Today Show. All the rest of them are henpecked or women on these legacy media platforms. That's what they should try to figure out, because the infrastructure is already there.
So, Greg, this is not my favorite genre of all time. This is just the same story over and over again. Remember the Kamala Harris rebrand story?
Yeah.
Every 20
always rebranding.
days, they were like having, we're going to roll her out again. We're going to have some sort of a new thing. They'll spend $20 million rather than have to actually touch grass.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube.
No, but that's because I'm already subscribed. I'm just messing with them. But they're absolutely right. The Democrats are in a nosedive. They're not woke enough for their most progressive radicals. They're not moderate enough for the somewhat left-leaning people. And they've shut out the entire straight male population. They don't want you being a strong man. They're okay with you being an effeminate man. They're okay with you being a man in a dress. But you just want to be a dude that likes burgers and watches football, and you have dreams of building a deck in your backyard, but you never actually do it. You invite some buddies over to drink and you talk about doing it, and you might get started, but then you don't really finish. So you're like, you know what, I could just turn this like into like a little bar or a shed. And you just do that because it's a bit more practical, right? Yeah, man. Totally not a real experience. just a example I just thought of. We never did build that deck. But yeah, man. They're just out of touch. They don't know what it is to be a man. I mean, they couldn't figure out what it is to be a woman. Those are the only two options. Well, I hope you found this informative or entertaining. I think that 20 million is going to go to waste, but if there's one thing Democrats know how to do, it's waste money. Anyways, I'm Evan. This was the video. Appreciate you for watching. I'm out. Peace.